I think he's got too many players. He doesn't know his best team. There's too many ins, too many outs. New owners, new manager, I think it's just too much for him. And listen, who's going to go there? I suppose there's the better question. Forget Potter. If Potter goes next week, if we beat them, Rants, right? Which manager goes in there and immediately takes that by the scruff of its neck? Realistically,
no one.
This is the problem, right? And whoever goes in there, the Chelsea fans are going to expect that manager to go in there and win 5, 6, 7, 8 games on the bounce.
They've got a very young team. Like, they've been bringing in young players, and they've been bringing in young non-Premier League proven players as well. It's like, if you're going to bring in young players, yeah, at least bring in young players from the Premier League if you want them to kind of hit the ground running. But you've gone and brought in young players from abroad that are going to need time to adapt. And then your current players that were here before clearly are not good enough. It's a problem still.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I saw the team they lined up with against Southampton, and I just sat and I thought the last couple of games I'd seen them, I thought they actually they weren't scoring goals. They don't have a forward, but they actually looked like I could see a pattern. I could see what they were doing, and I thought the Enzo Fernandez. Ruben Loftus-Cheek partnership looked like it was getting some legs and like they were doing okay. And then you get to the game at the weekend, they're like, Jeff Stelling says, Chelsea have made 5 changes. And I thought, Potter, you're not helping yourself, mate. 5 change, like you've got to get, I think when you go in a club, right? So I used to coach when I was younger, right, Rants. And one thing that I was taught was, if you're a manager, at the beginning of the season, you can write down your best 11 on a bit of paper, right? And you can put it in the top drawer of your desk. Now, throughout the season, you might veer away from that. You might try different things. But sooner or later, you'll come back to that 11 that's in your top drawer for a reason, right? That's your best 11. Potter, for me, looked like a couple of games where they was actually starting to play. And I thought, okay, some consistency. Then you make 5 changes because you're trying to keep people happy. And I thought, dude, what are you doing? I think if he had turned around and said, look, this is my 11, I'm going to give them 5, 6 games in a row.
That's what you should do,
right?
To gel, to kind of get used to each other. That's what you do. But what this shows is he's not used to having such a big squad, and he doesn't know who his best players are. And then on top of that, he probably doesn't know how to manage big players, big egos. So he's scared to leave certain players out for an extended amount of time because he doesn't have the clout. He doesn't have the experience and the accolades in the bank to be able to justify leaving certain big names out. He doesn't. So he's trying to balance keeping a balanced dressing room.
Do you think, right? Listen, I know this is unheard of and wouldn't happen, but do you think if he had turned around 3 or 4 games ago and said, look, we've got a lot of players, there's been a lot of upheaval, we've had a lot of injuries. Chelsea fans, bear with me. What I'm going to do for the next 6, 7, 8 games, I'm going to pick a settled team that we're going to go with. If I cannot get results in that 6, 7, 8 games, and if you do not start seeing better football, I will leave. I'd respect a manager for doing that. But when I see 5, 6 changes a game, I think to myself, dude, listen, I don't think he's a bad manager. Is he ready for that level? Clearly not. No. But like again, the first half against West Ham, I thought Fernandez and Loftus-Cheek were brilliant. Right? João Felix looked excellent. Right? The back 4 looked solid. And I thought, hang on, he's onto something here. Then you go to Dortmund, he's making changes here, there, and everywhere because of all the players he'd left out of the Champions League squad. Then you go home to Southampton, you're making another 5 or 6 changes. And I'm thinking, you've got to play your best player. You've got to play Reece James for a start. You've got to play Chilwell. You've got to play Silva and Badiashile. Straight away, there's your 4, stick with it. Don't move it. Loftus-Cheek and Enzo Fernandez. João Felix, Mudryk, whoever, Sterling or whoever you want to play there, and then Havertz. I would say, right, there's my 11. You boys, you're playing the next 5 games. Go. Hey. But it'll be interesting to see when a new manager comes in there, Rants. One, who's available if they sack him now? Who's coming in?
I have no idea.
Is Poch ready for that?
Bruv, like Poch is someone that's been linked with the job, but it's like, bro, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like Poch again. Poch was a very good manager for Spurs when we were that level below expectation, when he could put the same 11 out each week. If he goes there now, this is the only thing I would say. And forget whether it's Chelsea. This could be any club in world football, Rants. The problem you've got is a new manager that comes in there is going to do the same thing. And what I mean by that is any new manager goes into a club and goes, right, everyone's got a clean slate. Let me assess all the players I've got. And then for the rest of the season, you've got, again, mishmash of teams going out there. 1 week it's Sterling, then it's Madueke, then it's Havertz up top, then they've got that Fofana up there. Listen, they if ever a team needed to get to, it's like in a boxing match, if ever they needed the final bell to come, right?
Yeah.
They need to get to the summer and have a meeting about, right, here's what we're doing next year. But listen, at the end of the day, it leaves more Champions League places for other teams. So
yeah, 100%. I think Potter's just, I think it's the rotation thing because he can't leave certain players out, and also I think he just doesn't know. I think he's just literally throwing food until it sticks in it, bro. And like nothing's sticking right now, bro. They're getting battered by everyone, innit? Like when you're getting beat home and away by Southampton, it's a madness, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute madness. And like someone said here, all this talk about Sancho and Anthony and all this bollocks here, but no one's talking about Mudryk. And everyone can say, oh, he's young and all that. Bruv, he's not that young, bro. You know what I mean? He's not that young. And also, he's fucking expensive, innit? Because I think he must be the same age as Jaden. I think they're both like 22 or something like that. So, like, I don't know, innit? Like, this guy... Like, bro, it is what it is, innit? Like, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing him come good, but it's not gonna happen, bro.
Do you know what I think? Again, though, if we're blaming managers for stuff, this is the thing. Then you've got to also then relax a bit on the players, because if we're saying, right, Potter hasn't got it right and he keeps making changes, like I think Mudryk's played since he's been there, the 5-6 games, played, not played, right? I think at some point, some managers got, as I said before, you've got to go, right, you're going to play the next 5-6 games, show them what you've got, build confidence, get 90 minutes into the guy's legs. But I'm looking at their team from Dortmund versus their team against Southampton. And it's like, how is anyone building any partnerships when you're changing that many players? How? I look at Man United. I know roughly when your players are fit, I know roughly what your team's going to be. Do you know what I mean? I know roughly what your team's going to be, give or take injuries. Man City, give or take, you know. Liverpool, they might rotate a few up top, but you know what the back four and the midfield's going to be. I'm looking at these. I don't know. He's dead man walking. He's got to beat Spurs.